that one. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. I'm going to go ahead and knock out my quick disclaimer before people start showing up. I forgot the disclaimer. What is the thing I'm disclaiming again? Oh, yeah. Not a... excuse me. It's early. Well, I guess it's not really that early, but I'm not a medical professional. Nothing I say is intended as medical advice or health advice. Any major changes you make to your diet or any other aspect of your lifestyle is something you should check with a professional with before enacting in your own life. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't plan on talking about finances today, but if I did, nothing I say is a recommendation for investment. I am also not a yoga instructor of any sort. Nor have I received any kind of classical training on that type of thing. Whatever I talk about pertaining to yogic type concepts or spiritual experiences is simply just me sharing my own experiences, my own theories, my own life with everyone else for the sake of documenting this process. If you decide to take some kind of dive into the spiritual realm, you may want to consult with a guru of some sort, because truth be told, there certainly are some pitfalls to navigate, and working with your body's energy can indeed be dangerous, though you shouldn't be scared of it. It's just you need to be prepared for it, both physically and mentally. That being said, it looks like we got people showing up. Welcome, Keila Alves, Mask of Silver. Hello, Noi. Daniel DeBoy. Some cunt is here. Excuse my language. Sam, get off me, dude. Let's see. Second, guys. I already have to fucking block somebody. I've only been here for a second. Raphael. What's up, Max? Sorry I called you Raphael. I just was reading that in order. Alright, go. Take your ass back there. I'm gonna lock you back there, fool. Okay, so we're getting off to a good start. We already got 10 people here. It's only been 3 minutes, so we're doing good. Anyhow, whoops, let's see. I'm just gonna block this person permanently. That's crazy. I can't believe we got trolls like in 3 minutes. I didn't even advertise on Twitter today, so I can't even blame that. Anyways, so stuff is happening over here. I don't want to talk about it too much because I realized that I got myself into this little situation with this Rudra Granthi by doing exactly what I'm been doing probably here on YouTube, which is talking about these siddhis and little powers and things, and not only just talking about them but thinking about them nonstop all the time, and basically lusting to take control of them, when in reality I think the only real thing that matters is the progress, and that those little abilities and the understanding of them, more so in theory the control of them, which I don't have, is all something that is bestowed upon you rather than learned in my own theory. I can't prove any of that, nor do I have whatever with that. But that's what's up. So, if anyone has any questions you want to talk about today, that would be amazing. Franquetta, thank you for the hair compliment. I actually, for the first time in a long time, I tried to straighten it out a bit. They were starting to like connect at the roots a little bit. Like I was getting a lot of like, I got this one horrible one right here that's like a, let's see if I can find it. Oh, it shouldn't be too hard to find because it's giant. Oh, I'm gonna fuck up my whole thing I got going on here. But I got a couple that are gonna be really big because I didn't separate them. And now it's like I got one right here that's like 3 of them coming together, and one of them was already like one of my bigger ones, so I'm gonna have like a monster right there. So whatever I'm gonna get, I guess I'll eventually, it might be like Samson vibes, but we'll see what's going on. It doesn't really matter. I'm not really doing the hair thing for aesthetic reasons. I'm more doing the hair thing for aesthetic reasons, which sounds very the same but is extremely opposite. So thank you for those who enjoy it, and I thank you also to those who don't because I don't really it doesn't really matter, but I'm glad for the people that are enjoying it, and for the people who are not, I'm sorry that you are unhappy in life. So, like I always think about that, like when I'm, one of the things that really runs at home for me and I, Sam, dude, I'm talking, buddy, is like all these people that get really angry and like road rage in traffic. Can you imagine living in a place like LA where there's always traffic and traffic makes you angry? It's like, what an existence. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was angered by traffic, this is the last place one of the last places I would fucking live. You know what I'm saying? It's like what's worth that? I don't know. Anyways, in fact, when I did used to be bothered by traffic, I got the hell out of here. Fucking bugs, dude. Anyways, what's happening in Kosovo, DH? What's up, Ali? Edward Castro. I don't know who that is. Anyways, what do you guys want to talk about? I'm over here. I guess I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I unlocked the super smell, which is kind of interesting. So, that actually happened 2 days ago. And, it made me really understand dogs so much better. Weirdly enough. I'm like all of a sudden, like, I started having like some stuff going on spiritually, right? I made a little progress on this knot that I've been working on. And, I just, all of a sudden I started smelling like roses and flowers in general, I guess. And, at first I was just thinking, I just thought it was like a weird side effect. And I like the words, wake up and smell the roses came to my mind. And I was like, I wonder if that's where that saying comes from. Like at a certain level of like spiritual advancement, like everything starts smelling like flowers. But then as I like started wandering around different areas and stuff, I started picking up like all these different smells, and nothing really smelled bad to me, but it's just like I just had like such an intense, ability to smell all of a sudden, right? And it made me realize that's probably why dogs are so damn happy. I'm like, they got the super smell, and when you got the super smell, nothing really smells that bad. You're just like smelling so much that it's like almost overcomes you, and you're like this is awesome. Like we live in such an amazing world because, you might be in an empty room or whatever in a place like your car or something like that. And it's like you've been there a million times, okay? Yeah, like, you're just like, okay, nothing's really exciting here. But when you increase the ability to smell by like whatever, 50 times or whatever it is, it's like there's just so much more interesting things going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, that's getting repetitive, so I'm just gonna like go ahead and get rid of that person. I used to smoke a lot of weed, but I actually haven't smoked in like over a week now. So I'm like doing good. They like to smell shit. You're right. P, like it is weird. Like, I mean, I didn't personally smell any shit with my super smelling, but it's like, for whatever reason, yeah, they seem to enjoy it. So it might have something to do with that. I'm not willing to go that far down into the, I'm not that excited to explore my newfound ability in that way, but, it is pretty cool. Though you got to admit that let's just go ahead and put it in context, though. Let's go ahead and put it in context that while as I don't think any of us want to smell shit, if shit suddenly started smelling good to you, along with everything else in the world smelling good to you, your world would be better, wouldn't it? It would be an improvement. Just saying. So you can't really you know Raphael says, when I was 14, I smoked a couple of times and it was fun, but ever since I was like 20, I got anxiety and wasn't able to think straight. Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like it's like with all things. You know what I'm saying? There's a tool for everything, right? Like, but if you just walk around with a hammer, you know what I mean? You're not going to fix much. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you can bang some nails, but you're definitely going to have troubles when you run into a bolt. You know what I'm saying? So I just look at weed as like a tool for specific situations. You know what I'm saying? Now, because I walked around so long with a hammer just banging on everything in that regard, I've been trying to put the hammer down and expand my tool chest in other ways. So that's pretty much my theory there. I haven't kicked the caffeine fully. I did make it a few days, but I was honestly drinking kombucha and I underestimated how much that was helping me not get a huge headache. And so I'm just kind of riding the, I've decided that, I've had all my success in quitting things on the full moon. For some reason, whenever I see a full moon, it like invigorates me and to like do something new, make some kind of new progress. I'm like, no, I'm not fucking this up. Not on a full moon. You know what I'm saying? And then if I get through the full moon today, I'm holding on to that. I'm like, okay, I definitely can't break at least until the next full moon. So this time I'm going to, rather than breaking on the next full moon, I'm just going to add on another thing. So I'm going to try to wean down on the caffeine right now until the next full moon, and then I'll drop that off as well. You know what I'm saying? I haven't heard of that, Benson. Mac 468. Thank you. Chi. One love. Do I still work in business? Ton of content saved up, and I'm definitely uploading it at some point. I'm not gonna waste the work that I did. I'm not ashamed of it, and I had a good time creating it, and the ladies had a good time creating it with me. So I definitely am going to continue uploading from the archives. But the thing is I've just really been focused on this whole spiritual journey. So I have been slacking in that regard, because honestly, even having a phone drains me a little bit. Like, I don't like having the phone around me at all, just because coming off of it in general, and I just feel that it's some kind of like mind control device that possibly you don't even have to look at it for it to work. Maybe it's just like interfering with your biorhythms and shit. But the computer is even more so. Like, by the time I'm like on the actual computer and everything, even though it's easier to operate than the phone, I'm just like, means it has more technology. That's why, like, I use like a computer that doesn't have even like a phone, like a camera or microphone or anything in it. I don't know. I'm just kind of weird in that regard, I guess. I've been, slowly but surely just dropping things off. But the smell after the rain, that is an amazing smell as well, Noi. And strangely enough, humans have a very weirdly acute sense of that. In fact, humans can smell rain before it even falls better than any other animal on the earth, I think. Or at least, I don't know, I forgot what it was. Like, or at least this is just something I read. But supposedly humans can smell rain like 20 times better than dogs or something like that. It's like a specifically human ability to smell rain before it comes. Yeah, really interesting. Check that. How old am I? That's a good question. Oh, shit. In 2 weeks, I'll be 39. Can you believe that? 39. It's my last year of my 30s, you guys. It's going to be 9 years since I've celebrated a birthday. But I do think that I will do something for my 40th birthday. Maybe some kind of a meet and greet, or I want to throw a party, but I kind of want to throw it like a party where it's like everybody's invited, the whole world, welcome. And if you're an asshole, we're going to kick your ass. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I don't promote violence. But greetings, Super Ollie from Germany. Hello, Nee. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Cool biscuits. I think that is a mistranslation, but thank you. Looking good for 39. Well, thank you so much. 39 is not old. You know, what you got to realize is that humans are, I truly believe that humans are, maybe not, by default, we're obviously have an expiration date. But I believe that, with a strong enough spiritual connection, I don't really think that we age on the same way, or possibly I actually really, I had an experience which made me both feel and look about 10 times 10 years younger at some point, and that happened in only like in about 40 hours or something like that. I just kind of rolled the clock back about 10 years, and I used to have like a bunch of gray hairs down the center, and they're all gone. They just vanished. And so, after having that experience and stuff, I realized that, like, what if you can repeat that over and over again? Perhaps you don't necessarily have to age in a linear sense. Like, maybe you get older and you can just regenerate. And I think they're trying to, like, I kind of think that that's what the whole, like, I think there's some evil shit in the world where they're like doing that artificially because they haven't, you know what I'm saying? They're not willing to make the sacrifices for spiritual growth to be able to do that in a natural way. But, you know, if they are like, for say, like harvesting shit from people's bodies that and using it to like regenerate them in Hollywood and all that, like the conspiracies say, that means that those chemicals and things are actually capable of being produced in the body. And in the same way that they say, like, you know, you release DMT when you're born and when you die, I think that's also a fallacy, and that it's kind of a it's a type of like unhealthiness if you're not releasing those chemicals during your actual life. So my theory is that like a spiritual awakening is kind of like puberty. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a second puberty that you get in your, like, when you're older, you know, closer to like more like in your 30s or 40s or whenever. It doesn't really matter, but it's like a puberty. And I think that they have figured something out in this world that is kind of like a puberty blocker, the same kind of bullshit that they're trying to push on kids nowadays. But I think that they've already like done this at some point with the whole spiritual side. So I think that they're either feeding us something or using some kind of magnetic waves, or, you know, psychologically just like keeping us in a state of fear or whatever it is that stops people, you know, possibly just the fluoride in the water and all that shit. But I think that they are essentially trying to block our second puberty, where our brain starts to produce DMT and other probably chemicals that maybe are undocumented, unknown, and maybe don't have like a long half-life, so that they're undetectable from being produced within our bodies. The other thing is that I think that a big part of it could be having to do with food. Like most of your serotonin, which is an analog, serotonin is very close in molecular structure to DMT, and in general, like a lot of neurotransmitters are all linked to like the same amino acids and stuff. And they're like, a lot of them like are like part of like a chain where like it's like one creates the next, and so on and so forth. So there are the vast majority of the cells that produce serotonin, for example, are in your digestive tract, in your intestines. And the thing is that your body has a lot, like all your organs and your glands and things have multiple different functions that they can do. But the thing is they also have like a priority checklist. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, like your digestive tract, for example, its top priority is going to be digesting your food if there's food inside of you. But if there's no food inside of you, it can switch to other functions, other modes of operation. Okay? And one of those main modes of operation is to create neurotransmitters. Even some of them are made in the large intestine, are not even made by your body, but your body more so uses bacteria to do it. So your body actually has the ability to pick and choose between what it allows to live inside of you, right? Kind of like, imagine like the Star Wars, like the midichlorians, you know what I'm saying? Like they're supposed to be like little, you know, microscopic things. I think that this is part of the reason why that they've like banned things like raw milk. They don't want anyone drinking raw milk, because I think that that's like a source, for example, of certain bacterias and things which help produce certain neurotransmitters, which help, you know, like as I said, one transmitter becomes another. It's like a cycle of things. So, you know what I mean? Like if anyone's familiar with like the Krebs cycle or the ATP cycle, you'll know like a lot of things in your body operate like that, right? So so that being said, most of us are never empty. Most everybody out there in the world, and maybe not necessarily all the people in this room, but most everybody out there in the world is full of shit, literally, not just figuratively, but literally. And a lot of them are literally and figuratively full of shit. But the problem with that is, and this is the reason why fasting is important, is your body's not is skipping over functions, and it's prioritizing other things. Now, there are other things to consider. Okay, so there's multiple things, like, for example, like the whole dietary fiber thing. Like, perhaps that can be important because, again, you got to feed your little bacterias and stuff, but perhaps not. Perhaps that's just like another scam to try to keep you full of shit, right? And more so is that there is, and this is experience I've had personally. Like, I never in my life, prior to waking up the Manipura, or I don't even know if it was Manipura, but it could have been, I read something else. There's like some other energy thing according to like yoga in your stomach, like near your belly button. But what I seen was like literally sticking out of my solar plexus. So I had this experience, which a lot of you have heard this story. There's a whole awakening Manipura chakra video when I was in Arizona that I did, but I'll go over the experience again. So I was like trying to send some kind of healing energy to my father, and this was like after another experience when I was like really, really, really awake. I was also having at the time like this strange like electric feeling in my tongue. So I know that the energy was trying to rise. I've had the tongue thing like a few times. I had a lot of experiences with that. The thing is that until I was trying to send this healing energy, and inadvertently I somehow triggered something else within myself where like basically I sprung a fever. I have no clue how high of a fever that I sprung, but it was probably the highest of my life. I literally started steaming. Like it was like last winter, and like I looked at my arms were like literally steaming. Like it was cold, but I was giving off steam, that hot. I don't know how hot it's got to be to give off steam off your skin, but it was that hot. And in my like fever dream state, I literally looked down and there was like a little sun sticking out of my chest, like a little ball of plasma, probably like the size of a large grapefruit, but like I could only see half of it like sticking out, right? But I survived. And interestingly enough, the weird effect after that was that my food would digest way faster. And what I noticed is that after I would do the thing that we all do sometimes, at least once a day for most of us, like I would have this feeling of absolute emptiness. Like I could feel space inside myself. I could tell that there was space inside, like I was empty. And it's been like that since. And of course I can tell when, that energy is lower. And I think that fasting regularly is a big proponent to that. Ignite the fire in your stomach, you know what I'm saying? Engine right here in your solar plexus, like a small sun, which somebody told me that's your soul. I don't know. That's just, I'm repeating something someone else said. But when you ignite this little sun, not only does it make you digest so much better and like be able to fully empty, is it also feeds, it like dramatically like affects your other centers, like your heart for one, and also the one below it. And if you really focus on it, you can actually send that to even lower and higher. So I've like gotten it all the way up to my throat and down to the other area. So yeah, there's like basically, and so you operate all these different centers from your heart. Okay, you gotta that's why it's important to like learn to meditate and to let your mind go. and focus on feelings, because you using like emotion and sensation, you can operate all these other centers from your heart, right? But they're not powered by the heart. They're powered by the solar plexus. There's a little sun in your solar plexus, which you can still operate everything from your heart without the solar plexus necessarily. You don't have to be steaming, but if you can ignite the solar plexus in like a big way, it makes everything else way, way, way stronger. You know what I'm saying? And you can feel it acutely. Like you excite this, and then like you start working with the other stuff, and you'll start getting this like rhythm thing going. And it's really interesting as well, because when I ignited this, I don't know if anyone here has ever had like a experience with your third eye, but when you really, really, really use your third eye, like you open it fully, it's not like it's not the same as like imagining something in your mind. And you can have your eyes open. You don't have to have your eyes closed to be using your third eye. You know what I'm saying? You can literally see two fully separate images simultaneously. It's like almost like there's like a projector playing in the back of your brain that's like absolutely like vivid. Like you could see it as clear as if you have your eyes open, you were staring directly at something like this close, and it was like your full vision. Like it's like you can be in like two places at once. It's really interesting, and it's not strenuous at all. It's like kind of like you're using like you're using two different parts of your brain simultaneously. So it's like you can see two things at once, right? And when I ignited that, I could also see with my second set of vision, I guess, like what looked like the surface of a sun, right? Like, plasma. And I'm like, hey, and with my other eyes, I could see this little ball sticking out of plasma sticking out of my chest. But the other vision was like looking up, being like up close, like right up on the sun. And it had like octagons of like lava or plasma or whatever. But it was like shaped in kind of like octagons, like smoldering kind of octagon things. And it was beating in this like intelligent way, right? Like it was like there was like a pattern to the way these little octagons on the surface of this star or whatever that I was seeing was beating. But strangely enough, that later on when I started working with that energy and passing it to these other chakras, it was like that beat, you know what I'm saying, was the same like beat as it was like at first. It was just going like heart, sacral, boom. And then as I expanded, it was like heart, sacral, throat, root, like, you know what I'm saying? And it was like doing like the same like rhythm, you know what I'm saying? Not the same day, but like another day. But I remembered the rhythm. And yeah, anyways, that's just what that is. Rafael says, you seem like you have high chi for 39. I don't think that it's necessarily an age-related thing. I think it's more of like a purity-related thing. It's just, it's really, but I do think that like the younger that you are when you ignite all this stuff, and once you get all these centers working, it kind of, more or less kind of freezes you in time. Like it maybe even rolls the clock back a little bit. So I really, I would just let go of the age thing, you guys. Like forget about age, forget about all that. Like a lot of shit goes on in your mind. Like stop thinking about getting older. You know what I'm saying? Start thinking about getting younger. Stop telling yourself that it's not possible, and start realizing that it is possible. Like if you looked at me 2 years ago and you look at me now, I personally, maybe it's just in my mind, I don't know, but like personally, when I look at myself, especially, like keep in mind that you look way older with facial hair as a man. You know what I'm saying? But like my skin, my hair, like everything, that looks younger to me. I see myself all the time, and it's like, I don't know. Go back and look at my Instagram a couple years ago. Like I don't think I've gotten older. I actually think I've gotten younger. So That's what's up. Let's see. Are you invited to my birthday party? Of course. I just said I'd invite everybody. My Neanderthal? Possibly. I don't really know. I mean, I feel like I have some Neanderthal features. I got, pretty strong like brow here. And I also have this like occipital bump in the back of my head, which I think is a Neanderthal feature as well. I actually think that Neanderthals, I've also noticed something like, because I play chess. And so I've noticed that a lot of other chess players, like, especially like really good ones, like, the masters and stuff, go look at them all. A lot of them have those like same features. And I actually think that like having some type of Neanderthal traits is something that also like enhances your logic and reasoning centers, or it's like something to that. Trump 2024. I don't like politics that much. I'm not really super into the politics, but but given that we only have two options, and and since Kamala Harris is not only one of the most like dumbest people I've ever seen in my life, and just horrible on so many levels, but she was also the district attorney in Alameda County when I got sent to prison. So she literally was overseeing the office that sent me to prison. So I'm like personally offended by her on so many levels. And I don't think anybody, no matter how far left or how retarded that you are, I don't think anybody can deny that like the 4 years that Trump was president was economically like the 4 most prosperous years of any time in my personal lifespan, which is 39 years, and that everything has been complete and total shit since then. So it's like ridiculous that we're even having a discussion about all this. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on the election, since it is coming up very, very soon, and we will be finding out if we can afford groceries or go to World War III, because she's such a puppet that there's zero possibility she's going to stop us from going to World War III. And I do have at least a little bit of hope that maybe Trump's got some tricks up his sleeve, and he did have a really good record of bringing the troops home and not starting any new wars. So I do hope it goes that way, because even though I don't necessarily believe that all the shots are being called from the presidency, I think that everything's coming from a little higher up than that. I do think that it bears good sign that perhaps they'll take the boot off our neck for a little bit if he does get back in there. But in reality, both boots are being worn by the same entity, and I don't really care if it's a left boot or a right boot, but I despise Kamala Harris, and so in that sense I will rather have the right boot. Magic tats, long hair, don't care. That's true. Do I use a spear or bow and arrow? No, maybe. I would like to learn to use a bow and arrow, I guess. Am I Chuck Norris reincarnation? Is Chuck Norris dead? Chuck Norris is not dead. You can't kill Chuck Norris. No, Chuck Norris is never gonna die, dude. Come on. That's crazy. Where am I from? I'm from California, I guess, or possibly another dimension. I don't know. It's really hard. It depends how far back you want to go. I've been around. I'm pretty sure that I originated somewhere before Earth existed. But this specific body was squirted out in California back in '85. So, I agree, Daniel. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to undo that. Let me go ahead and get rid of that person permanently. Heavy metal hair of the 80s. Ahmed says, do you support Israel? In general, I don't, I'm not taking sides. And someone else says free Palestine. I'm not taking sides in anything in general. I don't think that it's good to take a side in any situation where people are killing each other, because supporting murder is supporting murder. Supporting killing is supporting killing. Supporting violence is supporting violence. Like, in general, I think that the best way to deal with situations like that is to, I'm not taking a side. I'm not choosing a lesser of two situations. I'm not choosing a side in a situation when people are killing each other. I'm sorry. Greetings from North Korea, best country. Okay, I'm glad that you're enjoying it there. Someone else says, you look like a feral kid in that old Mad Max movie. I always say, I love Mad Max. I don't remember the feral kid, but I'll have to. Oh, I've never seen Mad Max 2. Maybe that's why. What's happening, Charles? I don't really know what that means, Vortex. I guess I'm kind of curious. I guess we must have hit the the live feed today, because we've got a lot of weird comments today, but it's cool. Anyways, is there anything else anyone would like to chat about or talk about? I've got quite a lot of tasks to do today. Oh, the old ones. Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen those. Honestly, like, I always think about those movies and stuff, and I always think about how people think that they're so dystopian. It's supposed to be this dystopian landscape, but honestly, I think our current world is actually more dystopian than Mad Max. I think Mad Max in some way was a more honest version of the planet than whatever we're dealing with now, because people here seem to think that they're living in some kind of civilized world or something like that. I actually don't see it like that. I think that we're living in a place that's so fucking deeply dystopian and fucked up that the weirdest thing about it is that most people can't see it. It's literally, it's really, really, really bizarre. And the reason why they can't see it is because they put fluoride in the water, and that most people have never fully developed mentally or physically. Do you know what I'm saying? I understand that some people are just young and haven't had enough time to figure it out, but it's crazy that we live in a world where nobody is teaching them the truth. You know what I'm saying? They think that the most advanced and important thing in the world is the little slavery device in their hands, but it's actually, if everybody was born and shackled to a ball and chain from birth, it would be less dystopian than handing them an iPhone when they're 6. You know what I'm saying? It would be whatever, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, the crazy thing about is you could probably look up this experiment, speaking of the water, and take tap water, for example, which people think like, oh, you can avoid it by drinking water bottled in poison plastic bottles. But what you got to realize is like, they don't have to list the ingredients in packaging. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they sneak in all the poisons and shit. Not all, but a lot of them. But when it comes to water, go get some drops that test for chlorine. Fill up 2 glasses of water from the same tap. Put some drops in there. It'll react, and you'll see how much chlorine is in there. Now take the second glass, stick your hand inside, and let it sit for 30 seconds or a minute. Take your hand out and put the drops in to test for chlorine in the second glass. What you'll notice is that it doesn't react nearly as strongly. And the reason for that is because the chlorine immediately soaks into your skin way, way, way faster than the water. You're like a sponge for it. And trust and believe, that's not the only chemical that's in the water that's soaking into your skin like that. And not only is it just in the water, but they've got everyone convinced to use all these like chemical soaps on their, to wash their hands, all the antibacterials. Antibacterial is pretty much anti-human as well, but it's, it just works much slower because we're larger, look at the ingredients in your toothpaste. If there's anything in it that you don't recognize, like, why are you putting that in your mouth? Look at the ingredients in your shampoo and your conditioner. What is all that shit? Why is that in there? Why? You know what I'm saying? Look, how many of you actually read the ingredients on the back of your food every time? If there's anything that you don't know what it is, why you do it? Why is our bread fortified with vitamins? You know what I'm saying? Like, really look around you and realize that the people that control this world see you as like, not just a slave, but like an animal. And the last thing they want is the animals to become advanced enough to challenge their power or revolt. You know what I'm saying? So you're being like assaulted mentally, physically. Your lifespan's being shortened. Your fertility's being attacked. You're being literally attacked from every direction, and you don't even see it. It's it's literally fucking horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to go for 1 week, just 1 week. Try to go without putting anything into your body that has touched plastic. Do a little research on the preservatives and additives that they put inside, like packaging for food. The BPAs, the BPZs, the EDTAs. They can even put that in organic. If you go and buy something organic and an organic tea or some juice, right? It has the simple ingredients listed, but they don't have. They have to only list the ingredients and everything of the product that they're selling at the time of packaging. They don't have to tell you what's in the actual packaging. So packaging not only has microplastics and all that bullshit in it, they have literal additives that are put in there to try to stop shit from spoiling, but probably also to do whatever terrible things to you as well. So, like, we can't be angry at, like, for example, we've had like a tremendous amount of trolls come into this chat today. We can't be mad at them. They're fucking literally retarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not any better, they're unfortunate. They're poisoned. Their parents were poisoned from birth. You know what I'm saying? Their mothers were full of toxins when they were born. It's not their fault that they're retarded, but they are. You know what I'm saying? Now, could they become unretarded? Maybe, if they stop, to some level, if they stop consuming all this shit and rubbing all this shit all over their skins and their body. But those of us that have to some degree, for whatever reason, dodged that bullet or healed ourselves from that damage and those toxins, we can't be mad at the retards, okay? They're just retarded, and it's not their fault. It's the world's fault for making them retarded. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth of the matter. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like I said, don't take sides in a war. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you take sides in a war, it's like, you know, giving the government money. Okay? Like, you're getting bad karma because you're responsible for whatever happens on the side that you're choosing. You're responsible for whatever your government does when you give your government money. You know what I'm saying? Today's wars are fought with money. They're not fought with weapons. They're not fought with soldiers. They use fucking drones and shit that are completely unmanned from far away. What's that mean? That means that it's just money. It's just money versus money. And the crazy thing is that the money is not backed by anything. So what really means is that the person, whoever has the most retarded population, has the most military might and the most military power. That's why they want to keep everyone fucking retarded, because that's the only way that they can get people to use little paper tickets to buy shit and pay taxes that are completely unbacked by anything, and they can print any amount. Not only that, they don't even have to fucking print them. At least if they print them, it costs ink and paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some type of value to create a bill of sorts. But most of our money is not even printed. It's fucking literally numbers in a computer. It takes nothing except for fucking a tiny little bit of electricity to change a number on a screen. And people will work for that. Not only will they work for that, they will fucking kill for that. People will fucking kill for numbers on a fucking screen. Think about that. That's how fucking retarded everybody is. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why they're fucking poisoning everyone's minds and shit, because they have to keep you fucking retarded so that you fucking keep doing that, so that you keep funding them, so they can keep building fucking drones and they can keep fucking killing the people that aren't retarded. You know what I'm saying? Because people who fucking haven't been exposed to all this shit and don't have fucking telephones and stuff aren't fucking under that fucking boot. You know what I mean? In some way, they're free. And so what do they have to do? They have to use physical war. They have to use sand. They have to fucking starve them. They have to attack them. They have to fucking kill them. It's happening on a massive, massive, massive fucking scale. And you think that all these fucking numbers and studies and shit that you read are true? They're not. They're not. Japan came out and fucking said over 1 billion people have died from the shot. You hearing about that? No, they just show you a little graph that says this is the amount of lives and deaths going on in this country, da, da, da. And you go look at your little phone and you read that shit and you believe it. It's fucking retarded. I say that with love, but people need to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even angry. Even if my tone changed when I all said that, I'm not mad. I just am trying to use a tone that makes you feel something. Because if you're fucking falling for that shit, you should be ashamed. Like, you're living in a dystopian fucking hellscape. Break out of that shit. Wake up. Heal your brain. Heal your body. Heal your mind. Heal your soul. Reincarnation is real. Karma is real. You cannot dodge this shit. You can't even fucking kill yourself, because you will absolutely fucking come back. And you know what? What happened if you do that? You fucking, your closest loved one will die. They'll fucking kill themselves in your next life. And you'll get to experience the pain that you caused to the people around you for doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? There's no fucking escaping karma. There's zero way to fucking escape it. You have to be a good person. You have to fucking break out of the matrix. You gotta stop accruing fucking negative karma. You gotta stop fucking being part of this fucking nightmare that they've created. Wake up and smell the fucking roses. I love you guys. Adios.